3, 2, 1, test. Onako, evo da čekam da je sve prikažem.
Meni su se isto stvarno svidjeli, baš onako.
Oh, hello! Didn't see you there. Dear delegates and guests, welcome to the closing ceremony of the 16th International Youth Media Summit.
Closing? It feels like we haven't moved too far away from this same stage all this time.
Yeah, Carlo, what were you thinking? Setting up the same stage twice? No surprises today? Well, here we are in the same cinema, imagining and hoping for a crowd of faces watching us.
Some of you we already knew. Some of you we had the honor to meet. Most of you had fewer pixels than usual, but now we have a new community, a new team, a family.
Right, a virtual one. Within the span of 11 days, our new delegates have embraced a special challenge and embodied the very essence of the summit. Collaborating, creating, sharing stories and knowledge, learning from each other and having fun.
And despite the fact we finally hoped to meet you all in Croatia, all of this happened again from our homes and our screens. Even though we cannot see you, we can see the change you made. And we are so proud of all of you.
True, we may have been stuck to our screens again, but we still managed to accomplish wonders together. To see the short films finalized this morning across the world really gave us even more hope for our future. It is now time to give them life, to show them to the rest of the world, and to show everybody your never-ending determination to make a change.
Welcome to the IYMS family, and welcome to this final celebration of what has been a truly extraordinary second fully digital summit.
Let's see what your sweat, blood and tears have produced within this very tight span of time. Let's see how you turned your seeds of ideas into impactful visual stories.
Are we ready? Dear changemakers, without further ado, we present to you the feature presentation of IYMS 2021.
Welcome, how may I help you?
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 Welcome, how may I help you today?
Just the regular black coffee, please.
Absolutely, coming right up.
Did you run out of pesticides or why are there rats roaming around in the kitchen? Well, you know, you can't really trust these people, they're not worthy. Your fresh black coffee, just the way you like it. Oh no, it's already been paid for. You already paid for it with the taxes you paid to help us refugees. And I want to thank you for opening your borders and hearts to us.
reaction.
Thank you so much for playing, you guys. I really appreciate it. It was a great game.
All these beloved animals could go extinct. Lions gone, tigers gone, gorilla gone, whales gone, elephants gone. Somebody, anybody, help.
And also the health advice about where the situation is. It would have also not been realistic for the New South Wales government to make a decision about the next 2 weeks, given where we are today. For that reason, I will be announcing now that New South Wales will be, or Greater Sydney, will be in lockdown for a further 4 weeks till the 28th of August. That includes all of Greater Sydney, the Central Coast, the Blue Mountains, Shell Harbour and Wollongong. Whilst we're closely looking at those areas outside the Sydney Metropolitan
Congratulations to all of our issue groups. What a great achievement and an impressive feat, scrambling together to continue this 16-year-old collaboration in just a couple of days, guided by our common passion for filmmaking and diplomacy.
It's no wonder it all turned out successfully. Across almost all time zones, our participants were sometimes waking up very early or going to sleep quite late. Can you believe it? Some of them were awake even after midnight to attend the masterclass and stayed up all night to finish their short films.
Yes, and some are staying up so late right now. It's already August 2nd for them. No matter how tired you might be, have you noticed something is missing?
I understand. Is it that we keep talking about 7 issue groups and 7 films, but wait, how many films have we shown so far?
Okay, so discrimination, environment, health, poverty, violence, women's rights, and where's youth empowerment?
Youth empowerment is so important to us this year. Despite the fact that we decided to focus mainly on the environment and its need for recovery, the world is in the hands of youth.
Last year, exactly at our closing ceremony online, we decided to launch a brand new IYMS Films production, a web series you already know by the name of Sanazione, A Time for Healing.
Throughout the past year, we have published 7 episodes, with so many more in production and coming soon. So, to mark this very special occasion, we have decided to devote this 8th episode of Sanazione to IYMS and all its efforts in youth empowerment so far.
In more ways than one, indigenous youth all over South and Southeast Asia have in many ways been disproportionately impacted by the effects of COVID-19. As governments all over the regions have imposed strict lockdown and curfew measures to help them stem the spread of the pandemic, many indigenous youth, particularly those working as migrants or in the informal sectors, have not only lost their jobs, but have also been unable to access quality health services and medical supplies that could help them avoid getting sick.
The closure of roads connecting communities to larger towns has also impacted food and other basic commodities becoming scarce. Due to the shift to online learning implemented by schools across the regions, many indigenous students, especially those living in rural and remote areas, have been unable to log on and continue their studies. From January to May 2021, the Asia Indigenous Youth Platform, AIYP, with support from UNESCO Bangkok and the Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact, AIPP, supported 10 indigenous youth-led small grant projects to respond to some of the challenges facing indigenous communities as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
These projects, which were based in Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Myanmar, Nepal, and Philippines, were selected from among 200 applicants and addressed a variety of areas relating to entrepreneurship, agriculture, access to education, access to information, and mental health. To highlight the work this indigenous youth have done in response to COVID-19, UNESCO Bangkok, in partnership with IYMS, conducted a 2-day online multimedia storytelling training. 22 participants learned about the basics of filmmaking, smartphone reporting, and digital content creation.
The outcome of the training, 8 short project highlight videos were produced by IYMS for UNESCO and AIPP. A documentary episode called Combating Pandemic has been created to, again, intertwine the aims and goals of the Sanazione documentary series and the International Youth Media Summit.
Get ready. 8th episode of Sanazione, the youth empowerment short film of 2021, Combating Pandemic, starting now.
UNESCO's youth program has a focus on trying to be inclusive, to provide opportunities for all young people to participate in community development, their own development, and other ways that they can contribute to their society. Some time back we identified that it's very difficult for some groups of youth to participate in mainstream youth activities, and so we started an initiative in partnership with the Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact to provide opportunities for Indigenous young people.
December 2019. News comes from Wuhan, China, about an alarming novel strain of coronavirus. What we now know as COVID-19 starts spreading. and nations worldwide enforce quarantines and lockdowns. While the world enters crisis mode, a group of filmmakers across the globe grabs their cameras to capture the lives and stories around them. Sharing these stories, they realize, even before COVID-19, we had equally virulent diseases dividing us. Perhaps this virus might be a test for humanity, a wake-up call for change. Filmmakers and storytellers from 22 countries unite in a shared goal to tell the story of a time for healing. This is Sanatione.
The COVID-19 pandemic has reached nooks and corners of the world, impacting in every way possible. Millions of people have already lost their lives and millions are still struggling to recover. The prevalent healthcare inequalities have amplified, which place indigenous communities at greater risk and vulnerability during this time of global pandemic. Lack of access to healthcare facilities and services, sanitation and cleanliness add up to the situation. Indigenous communities are even susceptible to stigma and discrimination. Newer strains of COVID-19 have been rampant and numerous countries are under lockdown with no immediate sight of cases depleting. Indigenous communities who are dependent on the traditional way of livelihood are hardly hit by this status quo. In response to COVID-19, the Asia Indigenous Youth Platform, the Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact and UNESCO Bangkok have supported 11 projects that are providing sustainable solutions for indigenous communities throughout South and Southeast Asia.
I would say that these projects really had a lot of terrific outcomes and successes. The projects themselves very diverse in their approaches and what they were covering, and the outcomes were really quite interesting. For example, one project in Nepal relating to the sharing of information relating to COVID-19 and indigenous languages. They were able to broadcast it on FM radio stations. They were able to produce podcasts which had thousands of viewers on YouTube.
Barsa Lekhi and Dikesh Prajapati from Nepal initiated a project called Empowering Indigenous Community of Nepal with COVID-19 Preparedness, with the motive of sharing COVID-19 related information in the indigenous languages. Out of 59 indigenous communities in Nepal, they have chosen 3 indigenous communities: Newar from Kathmandu, Magar from Palpa and Tharu from Bardia. The COVID-19 related information was only available in English and Nepali languages. They felt there was a huge information gap among the indigenous communities who do not understand these languages, and this is the very reason why their project came into existence. Through the project, they aim to spread information in the most accessible media, which are audio podcasts and radio jingles, which are broadcasted from various radio stations in the targeted locations. They believe that they are able to reach and impact more than 10,000 people through this initiative.
We can say that the pandemic also has to be seen as an opportunity in terms of how do we respond. Now it is in this context of opportunity that AIPP and UNESCO has been looking at, and that is how to harness the energy, the capacity and strength of indigenous youths. And that is where this small grant is coming into the context as to how it is best utilized.
Coastal Students Cultural Forum is an NGO based in Kerala, India, which is working for the welfare of youth and children. Under the NGO, last year on the occasion of International Indigenous Day, Radio Kadal, a community radio, was inaugurated. Radio Kadal aims to provide a platform to document and share the indigenous identity of Mukua community. Their goals are aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals by discussing the solutions to socio-cultural issues faced by the coastal communities. Radio Kadal intends to connect marine resources and knowledge for the sustainable development of the fishing community, who are solely dependent on the traditional fishing practices. This radio is providing a platform for indigenous communities to voice out their opinions, share their ideas and knowledge regarding the marine lifestyle. Also, they are supporting the indigenous community students in their academics by providing the learning modules to enhance their creativity. Through this project, they are able to reach out to more than 60,000 people.
The positive thing within the indigenous people is that they have a good culture, the values that indigenous people they have. So in the community, if there is any affluence family economically, they share their crops, they share their money, they share their rice. So that's why somehow they are overcoming the pandemic situations.
Rural People Upliftment Foundation was established with the mission to bring a positive social transformation by empowering the lives of the indigenous community. They intend to uplift the indigenous community from socio-economic backwardness by providing them with basic healthcare and educational access. The COVID-19 pandemic compelled the young people to return back to Myanmar from the neighboring countries. They were struggling to find employment back home and also were unable to create opportunities on their own. 9 villages of Sika, a township along the Indo-Myanmar border, were covered through the project, and they were able to train 50 young people. In order to create sustainable local economy, this project aims to generate awareness on the significance of entrepreneurship. Similarly, they identified the youth returning back to the villages and assisted them to begin a feasible micro-enterprises. They also wish to help in the economic recovery from COVID-19 induced livelihood loss. The turbulent political situations, which is military coup, created havoc in the country, and communications, media, all were cut off. The project members were having a tough time to manage the project and carry on forward. However, they were able to pull off everything, conducted a 3-day training among youth and also a review meeting.
Despite the conflict there, and despite the internet shutdown that's come as a result of the conflict, the youth leading this project were still able to conduct this online workshop on entrepreneurship and WASH, and they were incredibly worried about being able to do it, but just really at the 11th hour they were able to successfully reach out to 50 youth in this project. I would say each of these projects was really able to have the success and the impact that they strove for.
COSAFE Nepal is an NGO led by indigenous youth and is working to enhance local indigenous farmers through organic farming and knowledge sharing. The global pandemic shattered job opportunities, leaving the youth optionless or to return back home. The youngsters were clueless about the future livelihood and income generating activities. With no ideas in sight, they were gradually getting into farming and agriculture without knowing much. Little did they know that they were into chemical farming, which is harmful to environment, biodiversity, as well as to that of lives of people. COSAFE Nepal conducted a 5-day agriculture and farming training in Saptari, Nepal among 50 Tharu indigenous youth. After the training, the young indigenous farmers have garnered knowledge regarding organic and sustainable farming. After learning about the sustenance of organic farming, they have now switched their agriculture method from chemical to organic. In the near future, COSAFE Nepal intends to establish a vendor shop in farmers market with indigenous identity. Their very vendor shop will be a platform to connect consumers and organic farmers.
The resilience of these youth, the willingness, the passion to respond to this pandemic, to really do something for their communities, to not really just stand back and be victims, but to really be agents of change, is just incredibly inspiring. And being a part of this is just really one of the highlights, I think, of the work that I do.
The situation of COVID-19 seems to be unwavering, if not worse. However, during the time of adversity and uncertainty, what these proactive indigenous youth have done for the upliftment of their respective indigenous communities is awe-inspiring. These projects serve us as a model for us to get inspired, take collective actions from our ends to contribute for the greater goods in our community. So, let us join hands in any way possible and help prosper the community, because the path to big, systemic change is collective action, isn't it?
What an amazing new launch. Not only did we premiere this episode at this year's summit, but I'm sure you all saw the 7 short films premiered on Friday in collaboration with Wicked Whales Film.
These 7 films and Combating Pandemic will be available on our website and YouTube shortly. We can't wait for even more webisodes to come up.
Keep following us for more content throughout the year. And in case you want to join the Sonazione project, you know where to find us.
Well, is that all from us now? That's all, folks?
No, of course not. We have more surprises and more secrets to unveil. Before we say goodbye, as many of you already know, we have a tradition that we need to uphold.
So, where is this IYMS 2022 we're all looking forward to going to be held?
Some of you must have heard the rumors, so spill it now in the chat. Where are we going to be next year? Now is the time. Say it if you know it, or if you think you know it. Before we announce Croatia again, you know, third time is the charm.
But, I mean, we said we would do everything in our power to welcome you in person, but...
Guys, calm down, okay? Everyone knows we would love to host the summits all the time. We can rejoin the queue, but now we have to give away the hosting to... Do you know?
Oh, come on. Spill the fika.
To give us even more hope and courage that our physical meeting next year can be possible, let us welcome our amazing Anna Eriksson from Sweden.
Anna, the virtual floor is yours.
Hi Croatia and hi IYMS. I hope you're having a wonderful closing ceremony right now and that you're really celebrating your achievements these last days, and I hope you also enjoy your films and that you also can, you know, celebrate everything that you've made these last days of this 16th summit. I want to thank Antonio, who has been doing a great work both this year and last year for making all this happen. And to all of you, of course, we need to stay together to make this happen. That's for sure. Well, this is greetings from Sweden, and I'm Anna. And this is a message to tell you that I would like to invite you to Sweden for the 17th summit. Yes, I want to do that. I have booked the film school at Katrineberg, where we spent for a few years ago the summit there at the film school. It's booked, but now the work starts to make it happen. I mean, we need to stay together to do this, and I need your help. So, the booking is in place. You're welcome to come. I want to make sure that we do the summit next year both on place here in Sweden and also online. I think the experience of the pandemic has been, well, the positive side of it has been that we have explored and really improved the way to come together online to explore filmmaking and explore media and all the things that challenges we need to face in this world. Well, so this is just a short message, not so short, and I really want to invite you and to greet you and hope that we can together make the 17th summit possible. So, take care now, and I hope to see you. Bye-bye.
Sverige, 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 Sverige.
Yes!
Inte detta fantastiskt? Vi kan inte vänta med att se alla i Sverige.
Oh my God, are you done with your Swedish already, or have you just started?
Hey Swedes, what did he just say?
He said that it's so amazing that we can't wait to see everyone in Sweden.
Since when do you speak Swedish?
I've been practicing for next year.
Well, then you'll have to teach me. Anna, prepare all the fika there is. We're all coming. Start a new countdown and mark your calendars. Summer 2022 in Sweden.
Thank you so much for your invitation, Anna. Tack.
Just like Anna, there are so many amazing people in the backstage of IYMS. But the fact that they're backstage doesn't mean that they aren't the backbone of this event. And they deserve all the thank yous there are in the world.
Here to thank all of you is our very own chairperson of the advisory board of IYMS, Birgitta Olsen. Join us on stage.
Thank you. Thank you. IYMS is a creative place where you will learn basic and advanced filmmaking. It's also a place for joy and commitments together with so many change makers. You share your experiences of life and skills. You explore new expressions so that your messages will be strong and powerful. IYMS is also a place where you find friends and partners to collaborate with all over the globe. IYMS opens doors to your future. Sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. It can tell you you are no good, that it is all hopeless. But remember this, you are important, and you bring to this world things no one else can. So hold on. There are days when you hear about hate and violence, but there is more love in this world than you could possibly imagine. What is needed are people like you who have not only ideas, but are determined to realize them. Dear delegates and advisors with families, pets and bosses who made your participations possible, you are that people. And to the mentors and partners, Juan Pablo Ramirez Miranda in New Delhi, UNESCO, and David Young, UNESCO, Bangkok. Thank you for your guidance and your outstanding energy. You have truly shared so much valuable knowledge to us. Thank you for being there for us. My passion is growth. So to all of you, pod on. This is the 16th summit. Let's move to the 17th summit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Birgitta, for being our anchor and healer and a truly wonderful mentor for us all. And thank you for sticking with us and IYMS since its very beginning for 16 years now and counting, together with Evelyn, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Birgitta. And a special thanks to UNESCO and our patrons and supporters from Croatia. The Croatian Film Association, the Croatian Association of Technical Culture, the Ministry of Science and Education, and the Croatian Audiovisual Center.
Well, today we've seen some really amazing films and really amazing people behind them. There is still so much to share until we meet next year. Thank you all once again for making the summit happen. Your time, effort, and dedication are priceless to all of us.
We have now come to the end of our closing ceremony and the end of Croatia's 2-year hosting period. We are so honored for having had the opportunity of being your hosts. Last special thanks to our family members who made it to Croatia this year to support us, and our youth committee and our advisory board and our crew here in Zagreb. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and
until next year!
Oh.